Hi friends. One of the things that musicians deal with a lot is wrist pain, whether it's carpal tunnel or tendinitis. There can be a whole host of stuff, tachycardians, thumb pain, the list goes on and on. So the other day I got tagged in a Facebook discussion with I believe it was a drummer or maybe it was a trombonist. Honestly, I don't remember who it was, but some of the suggestions were not very helpful. And so I thought, you know what? I can't believe I haven't done this yet. So I'm going to give you guys a quick corrective exercise flow that you can do every single day to keep your forearms healthy and your wrists pain-free. Quick thing to note is that a lot of times the source of pain is not the site of pain. So if your wrists hurt, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times that comes from these forearm muscles. The forearm muscles get tight. That causes the tendons down here to inflame and swell, which can cause pressure in swelling on the nerves and in the carpal tunnel and in all those areas. So that's not always the case, but a lot of times it is. So it's really imperative that we keep these areas happy, healthy, mobile, stress-free, right? So you can keep playing as long as you want to. So what we always do is we start with foam rolling. Foam rolling or self-myofascial release. Actually, I've got 3 different things that you can use here. Lots of different options. The one that I like most right here, this is my arm aid. So check them out. The job of this device literally is to massage your own forearms without getting the other hand involved. It was originally used for rock climbers, and now we're using them for musicians because, hello, we do this an awful lot, right? We need our forearms to be healthy and happy. So that's one thing. You can also use a lacrosse ball if you don't have anything else. A little more awkward, but I'll show you how to use it. And if you have any kind of a massage gun, this is a percussive massage gun. This is Jaku. There's a link to it on my website. I think that link will give you 10% off. Enter code MusicStrong, you'll get 10% off and free shipping on this. This, no code, you just get it from whatever sports store you need. So I'm gonna show you with the arm aid. First, it's gonna give you the general idea on how best to use it. So when you're thinking about forearms, right here is where you need to focus. You never roll over a joint, you never roll over a bone, okay? So you don't roll over your elbow joint. We're not going to roll into the wrist and into the hand. You can use it on your thumb, which is nice. Obviously, you're not going to use a lacrosse ball on your thumb. I mean, you can, but it's awkward. You can also do this with your other thumb. But then the thing is, then we're tensing one, relaxing the other, tensing one, relaxing the other. It's a vicious cycle. Hence why I like to use an implement. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust this to the size you need. And I've got it set where I need it to be. This just holds it in place. The concept of no matter what you use, the concept is the same. You want to put your arm through the device. You're going to roll back and forth. Oh, it feels so good. You're going to roll back and forth until you feel something tender, right? So I've got a spot right here. A lot of times, that's where you get a spot. It's going to be in the fleshy part of your arm right up here. So when you wiggle your fingers, you'll see those forearm muscles move. That's where we're going to concentrate. So we're going to find the tender spot. I want you to press on it. I'm just holding it, I'm not gripping it. You're going to hold, make sure your wrist is relaxed. You're not, oh my gosh. So you're going to find that tender spot and you're going to hold it, okay? Relax. On a 1 to 10 pain scale, it should never be above a 7. Otherwise, you're going to clench. It's not going to relax. It's really important. What you can do to make it a little more effective, if you like, you found that spot. Say, I feel that going down to my middle 3rd fingers, 4th fingers. Relax. Touch your fingertips together. Stretch it that way. Okay, if we flip it around, the points are going to be in here usually, and seldom up here, sometimes down here. So we're going to roll back and forth. This will also help prevent tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, tendinitis, that kind of thing. Okay, find a spot. What you do this time is you go that way. Basically just stretch it until you feel something. Feel a stretch. If you have a lacrosse ball, it looks like this. Generally, you would use it on a table, but if you only have your forearm, oh, right there. Oh, yeah, and that's a different spot. So these all have merit, just a little more awkward to use. Okay, find that spot, touch your fingers together, stretch. You can do it. You don't want to go that way. That will flex the muscle. Hold until that pain goes down to a 1 or a 2. Okay, with the massage device, turn it on. I like the the ball device, but you can swap it out for, they all have their different merits, right? You can swap it out for one of the other devices. If it kicks back like that, it means you're pressing on a bone and you need to get off of that, right? So, oh, yeah, right there. So you're looking for that tender spot, and that's where mine is. And so you can flex through it, same, and you can go this way as well. It just kind of depends. You can go flat, under, over. It depends on where the spot is. Or you can just hang out and feel like, oh my gosh, this feels amazing, okay? So once we're done with this, you are going to stretch those areas. And then we're going to activate the opposite sides, whatever is weak. So to stretch your forearms, a couple things to note. You do not want to do this or this. We're not stretching your fingers. We're not stretching your palm. We are stretching your forearms. Also, it just can put too much torque, too much pressure, too much, a lot of things. So please don't do that. Do this instead. So if you have a flat surface, ideally not a couch or a mushy surface, but a table, a floor will work. Walls work okay, but they're not the best. So ideally it's going to have a little less give to it, but that's fine. To stretch your extensors, which are the tops of your forearms, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your palms in front of you, facing you, lock your elbows, make sure your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders, lock your elbows, tuck your fingertips together, and try to pick up your knuckles off the table. It should not be possible. If it is, you're leaning too far forward, so it shouldn't be possible. What happens is this activates something called Sherrington's Law, which states that you cannot contract two opposing muscle forces at the same time. So if these are tight and you are trying to pick up, you're trying to pick up your knuckles, that activates this, which will help shut this off better, okay? So we're going to hold, make sure your hands are directly underneath your shoulders, elbows are locked. If you have to bend your elbows like this, just come out of it. If you can't push your fingers all the way down, that's fine. Don't push into the point of pain. Don't push past the point of pain or into pain, okay? Just go as far as comfortable. You're going to hold for 20 seconds. Come out for 10, nice and easy. Go back for 30 seconds. Make sure those elbows are straight. Come out, nice and easy. To get the underside, and if it's not tight, don't stretch it. So don't just stretch it just because I said stretch it. If you felt something, it's probably a good indication something's tight. If you do this and don't feel anything, don't do it. You only need to stretch what's tight, okay? You're going to point your fingertips, splay your fingers nice and wide. Point your fingertips back towards you. Try to lift your fingertips off the floor, okay? Try to lift. That, again, activates Sherrington's Law, which will stretch this out, turn this on. If you can't go that far, you can only go here. Just go to where you can, but make sure your elbows are straight. Okay, it makes a big difference. Come out of that nice and easy. We're going to do 2 different wrist stretches. You're going to roll this way. Okay, then we're going to roll the other way. So you can get the backs of your hands to touch. Then we're going to do something called a prayer rotation. So put your hands together like you're praying. I want you to rotate out, rotate back, rotate out, and back. A few times, you should feel a really nice stretch. Be gentle about this. So those are the stretches. So after this, we're going to do some strengthening. And I've got a hammer and a water bottle in case you don't have any actual weights. Thing number 1, we are going to do hammer rotations. So the reason why is because you've got weight on one end and not at the other, so it's not evenly weighted, which is what you want. You are going to brace your elbow on the side of your hand, brace your elbow on your leg. You're going to rotate back, and rotate the other way, back and forth. Okay, the important thing here is that you control it. I can do this all day. You don't want that. Your goal is to control this. Nice and easy, same amount of time on one side, same amount of time on the other. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, etc. We're going to do this 10 to 20 times. Okay, just depending on how it feels. Don't be surprised if one arm is more difficult than the other. Depends on what you do. Drummers, this might be challenging for you, might not be, depending on how you play. Timpanists, same. Okay, and then you've seen people go this way. You can do that as well. So we went from side to side, tympanus, this is very similar to you. So this will build some strength and endurance in your forearms. Nice and easy. We're going to come up and back slow. And come up and back slow. Now, you want to control this 10 to 20 times. Try this every day. And then your goal, start with a lighter hammer. This is a very small one. You're not trying to go for Thor's hammer here, something really huge, okay? So be creative with that. Next thing is we're going to do some wrist curls. And I've got a water bottle. Obviously, this is going to make it more of a challenge because there's water in it, and it's not full. So that presents a different solution, whereas you have to have stability in your hand to be able to do this, or in your wrist. So we're going to come down and up and down and up. This is way more challenging with the water sloshing around. But if you do have dumbbells, you want it to be like 1 or 2 pounds, not heavy at all, because you're going to do a lot of these repetitions, like 10, 15, 20, okay? A couple at a time. Then we're going to flip around the other way. Same thing, right? Same thing on both sides. So if you do have a dumbbell, I would use that. We're going to go here, again to recap, here, here, and then rotation, okay? So that is how you can take care of your wrist. Key points to remember, whenever you are rolling those spots, you want to go 30 seconds on each tender spot. 20 seconds for the stretches, rest 10, then stretch 30 seconds. And then with these, we're doing 10 to 20 repetitions each, nice and slow, very controlled. Hit me up if you have any questions, and thanks for joining me.